So this week I thought I'd do a little project update. Making some headway on the Roadster. If you haven't checked out my installing the body to the frame video yet, make sure you do that. Basically it's a two-parter. Part 2 still has to come out, part 1 is out. But I got some fun holes drilled in the boxing plate. But what I've really been up to is this project right here. My 1968 Mustang Fastback is about to get a whole lot cooler. Can I get back far enough to get it all in the shot? Sorta. Anyway. What's going on, guys? Casey here, and I'm back with a new update on the Mustang project. I'm trying to drum up some interest in this project. I've been spending money like a drunken sailor again, and I've got a whole bunch of parts to transform this thing into a car that can do some HPDE, or high performance drivers education. Basically, I want to get it on a road course and see what my build is made of, see what I am made of myself. Anyway, it should be pretty fun. Let me show you some of what I have planned for this project. I think it's going to be really cool. Thanks for watching this week. All right, guys, so if you haven't already checked out the video introduction to my 1968 Mustang Fastback, go back and check that out. I go over the build so far. I basically did a nut and bolt mechanical restoration on this car. The only thing that I haven't touched is the paint and body work, but I've redone the interior, rebuilt the engine and transmission, rear axle, and all of the suspension, and it's all pretty racy stuff. Now I'm getting ready to take it to the next level. So let me show you the parts that are going to aid in this transformation. All right, so starting at the front of the car, I've got an assortment of parts from Cobra Automotive and Street or Track. Basically what we have here is Cobra Automotive's big spindle kit. The pins on spindles on 65 and 66, and then 67 and 68. Actually, I guess 67 through 69 Mustangs are notoriously small. The 65, 66 being the smallest, and then 67 through 69 being a little bit better. The 70 to 73 Mustang, which is what these are, had the largest bearings. Bearing diameter is good for keeping bearings cool. The pins on these spindles are also way stronger than a stock spindle. So these are the Cobra Automotive spindles and their bump steer kit, which I'm going to couple with Street or Track Racing, Street or Track Racing, Street or Track Performance, Street or Track's Trans Am brake kit. Now, these brakes are massive. At first glance, they might just kind of look like a stock GT Kelsey Hayes 4-piston caliper, but they're not. These are the much larger calipers off of a Lincoln. And then Sean at Street or Track takes and machines down the face so they don't foul the wheel. He also spot faces the bolt mount and cleans them all up, fully rebuilt. I'm pretty sure they have stainless steel pistons in them. But my favorite part is these massive, and they're only 12-inch diameter because they have to fit under a vintage correct wheel, but they're 1.25 inches thick, vane vented rotors. And that whole rotor with the aluminum hat weighs about, I don't know, it's like 3 pounds, 4 pounds. So they're very light. The calipers, it's a good thing that they're light because the calipers are massive and heavy. But those should drastically increase stopping power on this thing. Not that it was lacking with the Kelsey Hayes 4-piston calipers, but you know, the last thing you want to run out of is brakes. So moving to the rear of the car, we've got a pair of Kirky vintage racing low back bucket seats and an Auto Power race roll bar. We've also got, hanging out back here, a 66 Shelby competition model rear seat delete kit. Basically all the stock seats are going to come out, and this is going to go in. We're also going to be adding some 5-point harnesses. I ran out of budget on those, so those will be a month or two down the line. In my opinion, because of the dating on the 5-point harnesses, it's better to get those absolutely last, because you don't want to have to cycle them out if the build takes longer than you anticipate. I think they're good for like 2 or 3 seasons. The Kirky low back buckets are, they just look very vintage appropriate. I love the way they look. I'll show you the back sides too. Yes, these are the seats that were sitting in the Roadster a couple of videos ago. I am going to get a set of these for the Roadster as well, but these were ordered for the Mustang. So the reason I went with the Auto Power Race roll bar, which is a bolt-in deal, versus just building something custom, is this is a really nice car. Hopefully I don't wreck it, but the idea is to not do anything that isn't easily reversed. So the Auto Power Race roll bar bolts in, bolts out. I'm gonna drill, I think it's like 12 holes in the car. You know, I can always weld those up later if need be. It was the least permanent modification that I could do. And I think it will satisfy SCCA's regulations and NASA's regulations for HPDE. If I wanted to get an actual competition, which I would probably not do with this car, I would need to have a full cage, but this will get me going. Anyway, and a lot of weight savings there too. Another piece from Cobra Automotive, which actually came from I Did It, is this really nice steering wheel disconnect. There's going to be a video coming up on this because my 67 Shelby wheel, I don't have enough hands here, because my 67 Shelby wheel doesn't quite fit the hub adapter. So I've actually got a giant 4-inch chunk of aluminum to remake this hub adapter for the quick disconnect. I guess I probably could have figured out how to make my own quick disconnect, but for the money spent, I think I'm saving myself a lot of time starting with an actual proper quick disconnect kit. So we've got the modifications necessary to suspension, brakes, and steering. We've got the modifications necessary for safety. We'll also be doing a battery relocation kit with a shut off, because the car has to have an emergency shut off. It's all fine and good. I plan on doing a similar looking set of torque thrust Ds with Goodyear Blue Streak race tires on them, keeping with the vintage appropriate theme. I'll show you guys a picture. And then I'm also gonna ditch my full exhaust system with 2 1/4 inch slash cut tips, and I'm gonna do a side exit. It's gonna be 3-inch all the way back with an X pipe and augers. Super aggressive. It'll probably be super loud. It'll sound awesome. But with no further ado, the part of this process that I am most excited about is this Tilton flywheel. 7 1/4 inch. It's a twin disc. This thing is what you would find on a cup car. A while back on Instagram, I saw a video of a B production Shelby 66 GT350 getting unloaded off of a trailer. And the thing had one of the nastiest sounding engines I've ever heard in my entire life. I'll show you the video. running was the Tilton blow-proof dual disc clutch. Now, what's great about these, first and foremost, is weight. This whole assembly, it uses a TCI SFI approved flex plate, and then a little button flywheel and this 7¼ inch twin disc clutch. All of it together, and I'm talking bolts and everything, weighs about 17.5 pounds. 17.5 pounds versus the lightest McLeod Racing aluminum flywheel at 11, and the lightest Ram clutch that I could get my hands on was 20. So 31 for lightweight race stuff versus 17. This car is going to be absolutely mental. It's going to rev to the moon, and it's going to get there quick. I can't wait. I mean, this is NASCAR stuff for a lowly little street strip Mustang. It should be insane. And just for reference, 17.5 pounds versus a stock flywheel at 30 pounds and a stock clutch at 27. So 17.5 versus 57 pounds. It's gonna be nuts. I can't wait. What's gonna be really cool about this too is it's gonna be, well, a couple of things actually. The Tilton, they call it a blow-proof because it's all billet and like sintered bronze, and it's all really tough stuff. You don't have to run an explosion-proof bell housing with these. So that's, you know, $400 I didn't have to spend. And I'm gonna be able to run my factory mechanical linkage. I'm gonna have to get creative to make it work on the lathe. But I've got a special reduced diameter throwout bearing. And then I've got a stock throwout bearing that I'm gonna use all the pieces of except for the actual bearing itself. And I'm gonna machine an adapter to press that bearing onto the stock bearing. It should be pretty wild. So anyway, hopefully you guys are excited to see this. So far the Roadster videos are the ones that everybody really seems to enjoy. They get all the views, all the likes, all the comments, and every time I post a Roadster video, my subscriber count jumps up by like 25 to 30, sometimes even more like 50 or 60. Every time I post a Mustang video, I get like 100 views, lose a subscriber or two. Yeah, I know, Mustangs are kind of like a dime a dozen. And this one's, you know, no exception. But I think with all these parts, it's gonna be pretty exciting. It's gonna sound amazing. It's gonna go really fast. So, you know, hopefully stay tuned, check it out. All right, you guys, thanks for watching this week. Hopefully I've drummed up some interest in the Fastback project. Getting on the racetrack is something that I've wanted to do for 20 years. Road racing specifically. I've done a little bit of drag racing at like a similar level to what I try to do on a road course. I want to do it for 20 years, and I turned 40 almost 2 years ago. And I said, you know what, I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna do it. This is the year, I'm gonna make it happen. And I ran into some snags trying to get this car on the track because it's really the only performance vehicle I have that runs and drives. Basically, the Mustang doesn't have shoulder belts, lap belts only. Nobody would let me do a HPDE event with a lap belt only. They all wanted shoulder belts. So the only way to do that without destroying the interior is to install a roll bar with a harness bar and add a 5-point harness. So that kind of snowballed, as you can see. Anyway, and then I found out my wife was pregnant, and my daughter is like the biggest blessing I could possibly imagine. But it definitely put me off the pace for a little bit here. But I thought about it, and you know, I think I can do this in a way that's safe and responsible. I'm trying to do this in a very measured way. You know, obviously, my life means a lot to me. The car means a lot to me. So I want to be careful. So I'm not trying to go out and be like a competitive racer, but I think HPDE is pretty measured. I'll have a fast HPDE car. Anyway, hopefully I've gotten some people interested in the project. Yes, it's just another Mustang, but it's not just another Mustang at all. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this week. Thanks to all the new subscribers who subscribed between
this week and last week. We're well up over 600 now, which is amazing. Well on our way to that 1,000 horsepower. Gonna make you guys watch ads moment. Just kidding. I mean, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Anyway, thank you so much. Please hit that like button. Hit me up in the comments to let me know what you want to see more of in future episodes. And if you have not already done it, please do subscribe to the channel. And I promise to keep the videos coming. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week. Cheers. I think it's dinner time. Until next time. Skateboard kids. Crows. How many sips of beer am I gonna take on outtakes? I'm gonna be wasted before I get this video done.